Welcome to the Ambitious Coach Podcast. This is a place where driven, determined coaches learn how to get off the business growth struggle bus and learn how to build a wildly profitable online coaching business. I'm your host, Allison Henderson, corporate dropout to six-figure social media business coach. I'm going to show you how I've been able to create the business of my dreams organically, all through utilizing my social media platforms. So pull up a seat, take some notes, and get ready to see your life and bank account transform. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Ambitious Coach Podcast. In today's episode, I interviewed email marketing consultant Jeff Felten. He's going to give you so many great business nuggets when it comes to email marketing. We're going to go into why we need email marketing, how to get more people on your email list, what kind of lead magnets are in right now, what softwares to use, how to use your welcome sequence to get clients, and so much more. You're going to love this episode if you're really ready to dive into email marketing. So just a little bit more on Jeff. Jeff is shaking things up in the email marketing world. He has a professional background in copywriting and personal brand strategy, and he has such a unique approach to marketing that really centers around trust. By knowing how to build and leverage trust in your email marketing, Jeff has sold over $500,000 in online products in just 2 years. And he has written hundreds of marketing emails for over 50 personal clients that has resulted in the revenue growth that they are looking for. I really hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, and I'll see you all again next week. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I have a very special guest, Jeff Felten. Jeff and I met a few years ago. We were a part of a program together, and he is what I would call an email guru, the king of email. I know he doesn't want me to say that, but I'm saying it because I think he is. I follow him on Threads every day, and he has so much wisdom about email sequences and all the things. So I wanted to have him on today to talk to you all about how to make email marketing for yourself just so much easier. So welcome to the podcast, Jeff.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Well, Jeff, I love starting my podcast with just telling everybody a little bit about you, how you got started in all this, and just a little bit about your business.
Yeah. Where to start, man? This question is always so tricky because I could go like way back. I could
go way back. I love hearing backstories. A whole bunch
of details that people don't care about, all the way back to college if I wanted to, but we're not going there. So I started working for myself in 2019. I kind of really long story short, I kind of found out that marketing was the thing that I really enjoyed, the direction I wanted to move in for the rest of my working life, for the rest of my working career. And within that realm, copywriting was kind of my thing. It was kind of what I was drawn to. I'm not great with visuals, so design was kind of out of the question. And writing, I've always written. And so copywriting was kind of the place I went. And I started out really just kind of focusing on all the copywriting things, websites and emails and ads and, brand messaging and all this kind of stuff, just a whole bunch of stuff. And in 2022, I really focused down on email marketing, and that went really well. But what I quickly found out was there are still a lot of email marketers out in the world. And so on social media, I had a really, really hard time standing out. So I looked and sounded just like every other email marketer out there vying for attention. And I had no piece of that pie. So in 2023, I got even more specific, and I really kind of focused in on really niche down to welcome sequences for people who offer services, online services like coaching or consulting or even other freelancers, and really focused on just serving those people in this one area of email marketing. And that's really kind of a space that nobody else is really owning or talking about. And I kind of had a little bit of unique perspective there. And that's kind of where I am and where I've been camped out for the last couple of years, is really kind of focusing on welcome sequences. I do other, things with email marketing too, but that's really kind of the front door and the main thing that I focus on. So, I don't know if that's a good enough background for you, but
that'll work. I love it. Thank you for sharing all of that. I know the people that listen to this are maybe thinking, okay, I'm listening to, Jeff, that you do welcome sequences, but like, do I need a freebie? Like, tell me more about what would actually get them to sign up and then activate this welcome sequence.
Well, let's back up a little bit first, right? So I think we can all agree, especially with all the TikTok stuff that's happened recently, that any social media channel is rented real estate. And so this kind of answers the question, why do we need email marketing? Why do I even need an email list? It's because social media is rented real estate. Elon or Zuck or whoever, they can do whatever they want. They can take it away if they really wanted to. They're not going to, but they could. The algorithms change all the time. It's just a mess. People don't like being sold to there. And so there are just a million and one reasons why you should have an email list and why you should focus on deplatforming people from your social media audiences to your email list, because you own it forever. It's yours. You can take it with you. So that kind of answers that question of why. The how is to get people from social media to your email list, because they don't naturally want to do that. They know they're going to get emails from you, right? So the best way that I like to say is just to give them a damn good reason to give them a good enough reason to sign up for your email list. It's not to sign up for tips, tricks, and exclusive deals. So that is not why people are going to sign up for your email list. The best way is some sort of a lead magnet, which is a free piece of content that it solves a problem for your target audience, but also kind of starts moving them in the direction of your paid offers.
Okay. So I know that you've talked about like, what is a good lead magnet? What is a good freebie? It does solve a problem, but like, what are you seeing right now that's like really desirable? Or maybe that's a little bit different from what everybody else is doing.
I think that actionable lead magnets are in and information is out. Ooh. So what I mean by that is, like ultimate guides, right? Like those 50-page ebook ultimate guides that you can download for free. Nobody cares. Think about how many of those you have sitting in the dusty corners of your MacBook, right? And you've never even read. Maybe you read a page or two and then you said, I'll come back to this, right?
Yeah, because it was like 100 pages. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have time to read all this today.
Yeah. Or like the ultimate guide to XYZ or 7 tips for blah, blah, blah. The reason I say information is out is because there's so much of it out there, right? Mm-hmm. Think about anything you can find on Google, anything you can find on social media, right? It's the online information game has changed dramatically in the past 10 years. ChatGPT, right? There's so much information out there. It's a commodity. So if you're just giving away information, you're just more noise. But if you are actually helping somebody win with your lead magnet, you're different. Right. So I like lead magnets that are kind of actionable, that actually, and by actionable, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to use it, but that it leads them directly to take action. So some examples might be like a checklist is a really simple one, a cheat sheet, a troubleshooting guide, an audit guide, something like that. I like to do challenges, which are like 3 days of, lessons with homework. And at the end of those 3 days, there's like a very clear outcome that if you do this all 3 days, you will have this completed thing, and it's going to move your business forward or help you do this, right? So I see those kinds of things as way more intriguing and irresistible. And instead of being like, oh, that's cool, like maybe I'll get that and maybe I'll look at it, to, wow, I got to stop and do this right now because this is interesting and I've never seen anything like this. So.
Okay. So for the person right now who does have this like 100-page ebook, is there a way to maybe like repurpose that or transform that into something else?
Yeah. I mean, you could take all that information and turn it into something actionable, something usable. I mean, it could be anything. It's just, what is the outcome that, we would want them to create from consuming this information, and instead helping them take the steps to actually achieve that.
Yeah, I like that. All right. So I know I have a group going on right now, and we are actually talking about email software systems and getting all this stuff set up. And I think for a new entrepreneur or anybody has never done any sort of email marketing before, it's kind of scary getting all that set up. First, I'd like to ask you just like, softwares that you find are the best right now in the market, if you know, just from working with some of your past clients, but also too, like how to make this, how do we know the best one to choose?
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting question. So I am so ConvertKit, it's Kit now, formerly ConvertKit. I am a Kit ambassador.
Ooh,
So I
ah.
have to kind of, say that, Kit is the best one to use. But I agree with that too. I like Kit. I think that what's important, if you look, email marketing can get incredibly complicated. And there are platforms out there that are very complex, like, oh gosh, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the names of them right now. HubSpot would be one. Oh my gosh,
Like Active Campaign.
Active Campaign. That's the one I was
There you
trying to.
go.
I could see the logo. I couldn't think of the name. That one is like, I mean, it's so complicated, and you have to ask. Like, there are so many bells and whistles in these kind of, really beefed up platforms. You pay for them, but you also, like, you don't need that much. If you have a pretty simple business model, you don't need something like with a million different kinds of bells and whistles. A platform like Kit, and there are others. I think you use like Flowdesk or
I recommend my clients to use Flowdesk just because I think it's really pretty. Like,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but like I just pick it because it's pretty. But no, a lot of my clients have used that in the past, and they just said it's really easy to use. I use Kajabi for everything.
Yeah.
So that's already included in my subscription for my annual, what I pay. So I was like, I might as well just keep using this, and it's really easy. So I've never even really had to use anything else. I used MailChimp in the past, and I was like, please don't use this. It is not user friendly at all. And even when I have to help my clients on the back end do it, I'm like, give me access to this, because it takes me so long to figure it out, but I'm happy to try to figure it out for you.
It's amazing that we've been saying this for years about MailChimp, and we're not the only ones who have said that about MailChimp. Like, a lot of people, even email marketers, are like, don't touch MailChimp.
Yeah, but why haven't they figured it out? Like, I'm like mad about it.
I know.
Like,
I just literally had the same thought. I had the same thought. But I think the most important thing is, like, one that is, obviously, like, cost friendly. You go to something like Active Campaign, you're going to, like I said, you're going to pay for it. You don't need all that anyway, right? If you're just kind of getting started, you have a very simple business model, you have like a coaching offer and maybe a course or, a group program or something like that. You have a few offers. You don't need anything complicated. So go with something simple like Kit, like Flowdesk, like, well, Kajabi, if you need it for everything else. But Flowdesk, Kit, like, they're going to serve you well. Basically, just pick something that feels good to you, feels intuitive to you. You're not going to really even know how to leverage everything within those platforms right away, and that's fine too. You just need to pick what feels intuitive and feels, easy for you.
All right, so let's dive into this welcome sequence. This is like your bread and butter, This is what you love talking about. So I'd love for you. Yeah, I know. This is very daunting for people to sit there and go, okay, I have to come up with the sequence. What does it even need to say? Like, what's the outline? Right? There's a lot that can go into this. I even know I have literally every month I put on my calendar, finish your funnel. And I have yet to sit there and I'm like, I have to write these funnel emails. So I'd love for you, and even for me, to give me some just strategic goal, maybe, or motivational advice to finish this and to actually get started.
Okay, you want some motivation?
I might need some motivation, yeah.
This might be the most important thing I say the entire conversation. So every new email subscriber you get is a warm signal of somebody saying, I'm interested. I just need a little bit more, right? Mm-hmm. So you don't get signals that much clearer than that on the internet. You just don't, right? So they need to hear more from you. So therefore, every new subscriber that you get, that does not go through a welcome sequence that earns trust, positions you as the leader, the trusted guide, positions the offer as a no-brainer, welcomes them thoroughly and wholly into your ecosystem, is a missed opportunity, because that person was a potential customer that you just let come in. I actually sent an email out to my list about it this morning, that it's like going into a restaurant and the host seats you at the table and then a waiter never comes. Or at the very least, the waiter fills up the glass with water and then never comes back ever. And so you get up and leave because you're bored and you're hungry. So you go find something else, right? That's what it's like when you don't have a good welcome sequence. Now, the welcome sequence, if you just kind of think through like human behavior and human relationships, these are real people on the other end who have decided to enter into your world and start learning about what you have to teach and may potentially be interested in what you have to offer, if the right messages are conveyed, right? And so if that were like an IRL relationship, like what kind of things would need to happen? We'd have to earn trust first and foremost, right? Like trust is the currency of business. It's the foundation of all relationships. So a good welcome sequence, the first thing it does, and it starts with the lead magnet. The first thing it does in the first few emails is builds trust. It establishes trust, asks for nothing in return, and really kind of helps the other person get a win, right? Kind of going back to the conversation earlier, helps them get a win, moves them in the right direction, right? And then after that, then once you kind of establish yourself as the trusted leader, like, hey, you can trust me. Hey, I can help you. Hey, I know what I'm talking about. I know what you're experiencing, all these kinds of things in those first few emails. Then we're starting to, in the rest of the sequence, we start to get into more of, I guess you could call it like the sales elements of it, but really it's not really even like sales elements. It's more like, deepening the relationship and positioning the offer at the same time, right? So things like telling your own story and your journey to solve the problem that they want to solve, right? Telling the story of somebody else that you've helped solve that same problem that they want solved, right? Showing them sneak peeks of your offer, showing them why your offer is unique or different from anything else in the market, right? So it's all about positioning and empathy and all these other different elements. One of the biggest questions that people have about welcome sequences is, well, what should it do? Like, should it welcome or should it sell or should it just nurture? Or like, what is the point? What does it do? And it should do all the above. There is no nurturing. There is no selling. There is both together at the same time. And that's what a welcome sequence should do. Because again, you don't get warmer signals than somebody signing up for your email list because they're interested in what you have to offer, right? And what you can do for them, what you can help them achieve. It's just up to you to send the right messages and prove to them that you can lead them to the promised land.
I think you said that so perfectly. I almost want you to like take that little snapshot and throw it on your website. And like, this is what I mean by email sequence. I love
Maybe
that.
You can give me the recording and
yes,
I'll do that.
I will. So thank you for explaining all that. I think the next question would be, okay, like after the email sequence, which I guess, give me an example. Would it be like 5 to 7 emails? Like how many emails really is that?
I typically do like 8.
Okay.
And I've got a course. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a course, kind of like templates, kind of a hybrid. Yeah. And it has 8 emails. It's basically, broken down from a framework that I've used over and over with clients. And it's just broken down into templates, and it's 8 emails. But I always tell people, like, there's room for more and there's, room for less. It really just kind of depends. Like, ideally, like you're pulling things from your own sales process, the things you're actually doing with people on sales calls and in real life. And, you're kind of translating those conversations into emails, right? Mm-hmm. So, the 8 emails that I send may not be enough for you, or, you might need less, right? So I typically try to, go somewhere between 5 and 10. Okay. And one of the main reasons too behind that is what's the old adage or the old sales adage that it takes like 7 or 8 touch points.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you can't expect to send like 1 or 2 emails to people and expect them to bite. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it is. It's like 7 to 10 times of them actually seeing your offer or seeing you talk about the offer before they go, okay, I'm all in. Okay, I love that. Then what? Like, okay, the automated emails are done. Like they got that welcome sequence. Now what happens? So maybe hold on. I hope they all bought, right? Like, hello, you got a bunch of new clients. But what if they
so you bring up a good point though. Will they all buy? No, they won't. We know that for sure. Like we know that like a good welcome sequence. I've I've seen, I've had clients who have welcome sequences that are just anomalies and they're converting at like 15 to 20%, which is just stupid. But like a good welcome sequence, a really good one is going to be 2 to 3%. That's like pretty typical, maybe even less, right? Like I have clients who they're very happy with their welcome sequence and it's like 1.5% conversion rate. So that's just the nature of it. Most people are not going to be ready to buy even from that welcome sequence. And it's a reality that, when you create assets like that, you have to kind of understand that, that's just kind of the reality of it, which is one of the reasons why I don't really like welcome sequences leading to low ticket products. I like them leading to high ticket and coaching offers because the ROI is just exponentially more.
Mm-hmm. So then after they're done out of that welcome sequence, then I know for me, like there's just days where like I'll repurpose an email or an Instagram post and just make it an email. So would they just go into a different sequence then of just like, these are my regular day-to-day sort of emails? Like, how does that usually work?
Yeah, typically like the way I see it is, your welcome sequence is kind of like, again, it's like the front door. It's like the entry point into your ecosystem, your marketing ecosystem. So they go through that. If they buy your offer, then I would say they go into like an onboarding or post-purchase sequence there to give them a great experience with your product. So that would happen if they buy. But again, we know that a very few people out of that welcome sequence are actually going to buy. So we would, they would go there. But everybody else, I kind of call it like Gen Pop. Like it's just, Gen Pop. But it's like, everybody else in your newsletter pool who is not in one of these sequences, they just kind of get your regular newsletters or broadcasts, right? The emails that you send, if you send every Saturday at 8 a.m., that's your Gen Pop gets that, right? Or if you're like me and you, like we were talking about earlier, and you just send a few times a week, whenever the heck you want to, like that's a broadcast strategy. And that's Gen Pop. So that's kind of, that's your long-term nurture game. That's how you like stay in front of people and keep building relationships and you keep positioning your offers in front of people. So just because they didn't buy from your welcome sequence doesn't mean they won't buy down the road, right? You just have to kind of keep positioning it, keep talking about it, keep telling stories, keep teaching lessons, keep putting it in front of them. And one day that right message is going to hit them at the right time. And they're going to say, I need to hire this person.
Yeah. So is there a too many emails, an amount that you don't recommend per week?
What do you think?
I'm going to say no.
No. Why?
Because I think the more people see your name, the better.
Yeah. And, yes, I agree with you 100%. The thing I'd like to lean into too is like these people signed up to your list for a reason. Like they want to hear from you. And especially like if you are leading with value and you genuinely like want to help people and, you're delivering messages that they want to hear and content that they care about, why would they say no? Why would you be bothering them with content that they actually want? Like I don't get where we got this mindset from of like, I can't email people more than once a week or every other week because I'll bother them. Like people are going to unsubscribe. Like people unsubscribe from every email I send. And it may have nothing to do with you. It may have nothing to do with whether you're actually like bothering them or not. It's just maybe that one guy he actually replied to one of my emails one time and said, hey, letting you know I'm unsubscribing, but it's not but I actually love your emails. It has nothing to do with you. I've just moved on to a different, career path or whatever. And what you talk about doesn't really apply. And so I don't really have a need for what you teach.
Well, that's really sweet that he actually was like, I love you, but
yes. Yeah. But, and it opened my eyes to the fact that like, like all these people that unsubscribe, you don't know why they're unsubscribing. It may have absolutely nothing to do with you, but yet we somehow get this insecurity that, they unsubscribe, they don't like me anymore, or I'm being annoying or bothering them. But look, man, like you got a business to run. Like you gotta keep putting your message out there and keep finding 100 different ways to talk about it and teach it, and, one of the things that we always say is like, the one thing you cannot control is when it's the right time for somebody to buy. You can only control putting out the right messages to the right people. And if you do that, eventually the right messages are going to hit the right people when you find the right combinations. you don't figure that out if you're only sending one message a week or one message every other week or once a month or never, So like the more messages you send, the more people find out about you, the more, angles you find, and you can find that right combination. And also it increases it can increase the trust with your audience, the familiarity with your audience, because they see more from you. If you're sending videos and audios and podcasts and stuff like that, they're hearing you and seeing your face, and it's just establishing you more and more as their go-to person. So why not send as much as you want? If people don't like it, fine.
Yeah. And you're right. I've had emails sent to me before saying I'm unsubscribing and it has nothing to do with you, but I don't do this anymore. It's just like, oh, okay. So I think a lot of times we do take those unsubscribes so personally. And we just don't need to. And don't even look at it, honestly. Like, there's just times where I'm like, just why are you looking at who's unsubscribing to you? Like, that you're just setting yourself up to cry. Like,
it's funny you say that, because I had 4 people unsubscribe today. And I clicked on it. I looked.
Why?
I know. And I had the same thought. I was like, why am I looking at this? Like, This is just like, I remember the first time I saw somebody that like I knew and had like a relationship with unsubscribe, and it was like, oh my gosh, like what?
Little.
It does. And like I have to remind myself, and I look at it way too often, but like I do this every day, and I still have to remind myself, like, don't worry about like the unsubscribes. Like you know what you're doing. There are lots. For every 4 people that unsubscribe, there are 40 or 400 people who love getting your messages, who, reply and really value the information. You have no idea what's going on in their mind.
Yeah. It is. It's a little heartbreaking, but yeah, it's hard not to take it personally, because our business is so personal to us, and every relationship that we build, and they do sign up for an email list or they sign up for anything, like, it's like, if it feels like, oh my God, I'm really giving something to this one person. And when they say, oh, I don't want this anymore, it can be very hard.
Yeah.
We can do a little cry here. But yeah, it's going to happen. It's just a part of being a business owner. And it's hard not to take it personally, but don't take it personally. It's a lot of times has nothing to do with you, of why they decided to unsubscribe. So
again, and even if it does, I mean, a lot of times we'll say too that like if somebody unsubscribes, they were probably never going to buy from you anyway.
Yeah.
Your message, you're not the right fit for them, and that's okay. It's okay to not be the right fit for somebody, because, like I said, you are the right fit for probably more people.
Yeah. Oh, you're so great, Jeff. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom today. Any other, I guess, last words of wisdom for the audience today?
Man, send more emails.
Yeah. Send more emails. Keep selling. Do your thing. I love it. All right. So Jeff, I know that you talked about some templates, but like, what do you offer? Like, what can people buy from you today?
Today,
right now? I don't know. Like this month?
Yeah. I mean, look, I've got if you're a DIYer and you resonated with the way that I talk about welcome sequences, I do have a set of templates you can get. It's called the Creator's Welcome System. Like 300 people are using it. It's really, really helpful. Like you can have a high quality welcome sequence up and running like by tomorrow. It's that good. So if you're a DIYer, I've got that. I also offer consulting. And so, if you want somebody to kind of build up your whole program with you, I'm your guy.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. And where do you want people to follow you? Where can they learn more from you? I know I follow you on Threads and I love everything that you do, but like, where do you like to hang out?
I hang out on Threads some, not as much this year as I did last year. I'm trying to kind of get back in the groove there. It's just kind of hard, but I've put a lot of attention on LinkedIn this year.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, that's where I spend a lot of my time, but like Threads is still cool. I still like going over there, and I'm trying to get back in the groove. I just need to engage more over there and get a little bit more inspiration, a little bit more connection.
Well, even if you go back through his last year of content on Threads, you're still going to learn so much. So if you want to go back through some of his content, I would highly recommend it. He has a lot of great little nuggets in there for email marketing and just lead magnets and all those sort of things. So check out his Threads, but also, LinkedIn. If you hang out on LinkedIn, go check out Jeff. Become friends, right? You have to be friends, connect.
Yeah, I would love that. Well, whatever it's called. Yeah. That's
what LinkedIn is.
Yeah, let's say make friends. I've been trying to take a more like social approach to social networking or social media this year. So let's say make friends. I like that idea.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. I'll put all the links of all the things that he talked about today in the show notes. So check that out. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It's such an honor.
Thank you for listening to the Ambitious Coach podcast today. A couple favors before you go. If you found this episode helpful, please take a screenshot and share it on Instagram. Most importantly, don't forget to tag me at Allison Henderson _coach. That's ALLISON Henderson _coach. And lastly, please take a minute to rate this episode and leave a raving review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you tune in to listen. Okay, ambition is great, but it's time to get to work. Take action and commit to being 1% better every day. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you again next week.